The example of unsuccessful M&A is the Tata Steel's acquiring Corus in 2007. Tata Steel is the first steel manufacturing company in India, which was founded in 1907. Since 1991, when Indian government changed its protective economic policy, the company made aggressive and innovative change in organizational structure to obtain competitiveness. As a result, in 2005 and 2006, the company was the most competitive company in steel manufacturing industry in the world. However, the company experienced huge downfall due to failure of M&A. The biggest reason of the M&A between Tata Steel and Corus was Tata Steel's desire of following domestic rival in scale. This shows that Tata Steel was on the innovation plateau at the time. As mentioned before, Tata Steel's success was from innovative restructuring the organization and assets. However, the company forgot its strength and followed the idea of sameness because the company was obsessed to the belief that the efficiency and low cost through business in scale would be the best way. In cross-border M&A, considering the cultural differences and geographical distance between the acquiring and acquired company is extremely important. However, Tata Steel's M&A was made without the consideration of these factors. With no effort to overcome these factors, Tata Steel sent no M&A specialists or PMI team to Corus. Therefore, the company was failed in connecting two companies successfully by dealing with cultural distance and geographical distance. We can figure out that Tata Steel had no idea about distance still matters while they were acquiring the Western European company, which was geographically and culturally far distanced. Followed by the mistake of ignoring cultural distance and geographical distance, the company set a wrong mode of acculturation. As the two companies was in the same industry and the Tata Steel wanted to make multicultural group, the mode of acculturation for Tata Steel should have been integration. However, the company had set the mode of separation. The company didn't experience any possible synergy from the M&A because of this wrong mode of acculturation. Also, the post-M&A cultural identity was not appropriate. While the Corus was having a huge problem in organizational structure and revenue structure, Tata Steel chose a confederation as an approach to identity integration. Thus, with the problem in acculturation, it took long time for Tata Steel to figure out the fundamental problems that Corus had at the time. It took 3 years for Tata Steel to fix this problem. The one enterprise, two entities strategy was changed to one company strategy in 2010. The company's mindset on this M&A was not based on the idea of globalization and innovative advance in business. The company's leaders were thinking and acting under the patriotism and excessive confidence. Thus, the M&A was carried out without the consideration of corporation's resource capability and objective idea about competitiveness in the international market. With the preserved weaknesses of the acquired and acquiring firms, Tata Steel experienced great disaster in their business during the global economic recession and perfect storm in European economy. The leaders of the Tata Group and Tata Steel didn't understand the complexity of economy and importance of setting competitive plan for the company's future. The Tata Steel thought the Corus had great level of innovation in management skill, organizational structure, profitability, and advanced technology. Thus, the company expected the positive effect on them by completely preserving the existing structure and boards of Corus. However, as mentioned before, because of the problems of Corus, wrong mode of acculturation, and mistake in setting post-M&A cultural identity, the big T innovation that Tata Steel expected was never happened. Putting all the mistakes and problems of this M&A case, we can see that the M&A strategy of Tata Steel was very traditional. The company leaders were staying in the traditional economic world without idea of dynamics of modern day economy and business. The strategy was planned to secure great efficiency and low cost, not high value and orchestration. Therefore, the M&A strategy was totally wrong in whole for the Tata Steel.
General Electric announces a proposed sale of its appliance division to the Chinese company Haier. Now, the deal was officially announced this morning as it was worth $5.4 billion. Of course, it's subject to regulatory approval. Mark Vanderhoff has been following this story this morning and joins us live from Appliance Park. Mark, what does this mean, of course, for GE workers?
Well, Colin, Louisville Mayor Greg Fisher says that there shouldn't be any major threat that any jobs are going to be moved to China or elsewhere. He says that a company doesn't pay this kind of money, $5.4 billion, just to move an entire operation overseas. Haier is a Chinese company that sells appliances all over the world, but has little presence in the U.S. They say they will keep the GE brand and keep the appliance division headquarters in Louisville. GE had another deal to sell the appliance division to Electrolux, a Swedish company, but federal antitrust regulators forced GE to abandon that deal. Louisville Mayor Greg Fisher says the Haier deal is more likely to be approved because they aren't already selling appliances in the U.S. like Electrolux is. And he's not worried about the loss of jobs given the $5.4 billion price tag.
The folks that really have produced that value are the leadership team and the entire workforce out at Appliance Park. So smart acquirers know that and they build on those strengths. So, and the fact that Haier has less than a 1% market share in the United States with appliances indicates that there's really not moving Appliance Park lines around the country to higher facilities doesn't make any sense because they don't exist.
And Colin, you mentioned that the announcement came out this morning. A company spokesperson told me it was announced at 2:30 a.m. here at Appliance Park. That would have been during the third shift. This Appliance Park employs 6,000 people, and GE Appliances employs 12,000 people in all in the U.S. Live at Appliance Park, Mark Vanderhoff, WLKY News.
The example of the successful cross-border M&A is the M&A between Haier and GE. Haier was a Chinese collective multinational electronics and home appliances company founded in 1984. Haier had the world's largest market share in the industry and began international expansion since 2011. GE Appliances was one of the largest appliance brands in the United States. On June 6, 2016, Haier acquires GE for $5.6 billion. And the result of the M&A was a great success. Haier and GE were the leading firms in the international appliances market. Haier was willing to maintain the independency of the GE appliances. As a result, GEA's organizational structure and operation remained after the M&A. However, the independent operation of the GEA didn't mean complete separation from Haier. To ensure the implementation of the various systems of the board of directors, Haier established the 3 independent business coordination committees for procurement, R&D, and supply chain. Later on, they set up management coordination committees on these departments. Haier culture was holding the idea of advocated cultural fusion. Haier balanced well on the flow of cultural elements because neither of the companies dominated each other. Therefore, the M&A brought positive synergy to the companies. Haier's synergy was based on 2 principles. First, undertake market goals and enhance the value of GEA brand assets and its brand vitality. Second, maximum creativity of GEA outstanding team. Haier followed the approach of confederation as the path to establish post-M&A cultural identity. Following the strategy in acculturation, Haier preserved GE's original identity. Thus, the company was able to efficiently enter into the US market. On the other hand, Haier also integrated 2 brands and formed a complete Haier production system. As the 2 companies had been developing different cultures and unique identities for decades, it was important for both sides to understand how far the distance for integration was. Haier announced the goal to both sides before the M&A. As a global enterprise, the company aimed to create a global platform at where all employees of Haier can have the global mindset. In the past, the platform of GEA employees was limited to the GE platform and the United States. After joining the big family of Haier, they could find opportunities in any of Haier's global markets. Unlike the traditional Chinese management theory that has the centralized decision-making process, Haier wanted to transform their management strategy to Western style for their globalization. Meanwhile, GE was a US-based firm that had low power distance compared to China. Haier successfully transplanted its culture of employee-oriented culture, which maximizes the value of employees rather than treating them as tools to achieve the organizational goals. For Haier, which was founded in developing country, it implemented race to the top strategy approach for the M&A between GE. We can confirm one of the 5 patterns of race to the top strategy. Since 2015, Chinese government published some policies to encourage Chinese firms' transformation from traditional manufacturing business to an internet plus business. These policies were believed to solve pains for traditional manufacturing industries. Alibaba, as a leading position in Internet plus business model in China, has created a competitive business platform that connects traditional manufacturing industries to Internet to help them survive in the globalized market. After acquiring GE, Haier successfully reformed its business model. Also, the company successfully delivered this model to GE to help GEA's successful transformation from a self-centered business to a platform that collaborates with users via internet.